In the hushed glow of the private hospital's VIP ward, where the scent of sterilized air mixed with the soft hum of machines, the story of an unexpected bond began, one that would forever change two lives in ways neither had imagined. It started with Dr. Adrian Cole, a world-renowned surgeon whose skills had made him one of the youngest millionaire doctors in the country, a man often described as brilliant yet untouchable, his sharp eyes always fixed on precision, his voice carrying the authority of someone used to making life-or-death decisions, and his heart shielded behind walls of ambition and loneliness. Despite his wealth and fame, Adrian spent most of his nights in the cold silence of his penthouse, staring at the city lights below, haunted by a void money could not fill, and though people admired him, few truly knew him. But fate has its way of surprising even the most guarded souls, and that surprise came in the form of Emily Hart, a woman whose life was far from perfect, an ordinary young writer battling the invisible weight of anxiety and financial struggles, yet carrying a smile that could light up the darkest room. Emily had been admitted for a complicated condition, one that required delicate surgery, and when her case landed on Dr. Cole's desk, he almost refused, not because he couldn't perform it, but because something about her file, her handwritten notes in the margins, her refusal to sign off for a public ward, her insistence on privacy, piqued his curiosity, and curiosity was dangerous for a man like him. Still, when the day came, he stepped into the pre-op room and met Emily for the first time, and in that fleeting glance, as her tired eyes lifted to meet his, he felt a shift, a strange warmth, as though she was someone who saw beyond his title, beyond his reputation, directly into the man he tried so hard to bury beneath his success. She smiled faintly, whispering, "You don't look like the kind of doctor who would operate on me. You look like the kind who belongs on magazine covers," and though her voice trembled, Adrian found himself laughing, genuinely laughing, something he hadn't done in months. The surgery itself was grueling, hours of steady hands, sweat under the bright lights, and silent prayers that no mistake would shatter the fragile trust Emily had unknowingly planted in him. But when it was over and successful, when her heart began to beat stronger than ever, Adrian walked out of the operating room with a feeling he hadn't known before, pride not for his skill, but for saving her. In the following days, as Emily recovered, he found excuses to visit her, at first under the guise of checking vitals, then later simply sitting in the quiet of her room, listening to her stories, her laughter, her fears, and slowly, the walls around his guarded heart began to crack. She asked him why someone so rich and powerful seemed so lonely, and though he didn't answer, she saw the truth in his silence, just as he saw the strength in her vulnerability. Their connection was unspoken yet undeniable, growing in the stillness of late nights and whispered conversations, and for the first time in his life, Adrian Cole realized that perhaps love was the one surgery he could never perform on himself but might finally allow someone else to heal within him. Little did they both know, this private surgery wasn't just about saving a life, it was about rewriting destinies, binding two souls who were never meant to meet yet were now inseparable. And as their story unfolded, dear listener, remember that life often places the most extraordinary connections in the unlikeliest of places. So if this story touches your heart, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more powerful journeys of love, fate, and transformation, because every click, every subscription, keeps these stories alive and helps us bring more unforgettable tales like this one straight to you. So stay with us, because Chapter 2 will reveal secrets and choices that neither Emily nor Adrian could have ever prepared for, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. The days after Emily's surgery stretched into a blur of soft hospital mornings and quiet midnight conversations, each moment stitching together a connection neither she nor Adrian had ever expected. And while the medical team applauded his brilliance, Adrian found himself less concerned with praise and more captivated by the way Emily's laughter could silence the storm inside him. But behind her brave smile was a secret she hadn't shared, a truth heavy enough to shatter the fragile peace they were building, and it revealed itself one evening when Adrian walked into her room and caught her writing in a worn leather journal, her hands trembling as though each word carried the weight of a confession. When he asked gently what she was hiding, she looked at him with tear-filled eyes and whispered, "This surgery wasn't the end for me, Adrian, it was just the beginning, because the truth is, I can't pay for this, I shouldn't even be here in this private ward, but I had nowhere else to go." And for a moment his heart clenched, not at her admission of poverty but at the shame she carried in saying it, because here was a woman so honest, so raw. And he realized that while the world praised him for saving lives, Emily had Saved something inside him he didn't even know was dying, his ability to care without condition, yet just as he was ready to tell her that none of it mattered, that he had more money than he could ever spend and what he truly wanted was her presence, the walls of their fragile sanctuary began to crack, for outside the hospital, the press had caught wind of whispers. The millionaire doctor spending unusual hours with a mysterious patient, and headlines began to spin stories neither of them had consented to, turning Emily into a target of cruel speculation and Adrian into a man accused of unprofessional attachment. When Emily saw the tabloids, she broke down, her greatest fear realized, not because she didn't want the world to know she mattered to him, but because she feared being seen as just another scandal in his glittering life. She told him she wanted to leave, to disappear before she ruined him, but Adrian, for the first time defying every protocol, told her firmly, "Emily, you're not my scandal, you're my miracle, and I won't let you go." And in that charged moment, the millionaire surgeon became simply a man willing to risk reputation, wealth, and even his career for a woman who had nothing but honesty to give. But life, as it often does, wasn't finished testing them, and the real storm came not from gossip, but from Emily's medical charts, because hidden beneath the success of the surgery was a complication only Adrian noticed, a silent shadow on her test results that hinted at a condition far more dangerous than they had anticipated, something that could undo everything if not treated swiftly. Torn between protecting her peace and telling her the truth, Adrian wrestled with the hardest choice of his career, and it was in those moments of inner war that their bond deepened, not through perfection but through raw humanity. For Emily sensed his restlessness and held his hand, whispering, "Don't protect me with lies. If my time is short, let me live it fully, but let me live it with you." And in that confession, love finally spoke louder than fear, binding them in a promise unshaken by wealth, unshaken by society, unshaken by fate itself. Dear listener, this is where their unforgettable connection truly ignites, where surgery and secrets collide with love and destiny, and as you listen to their journey unfold, remember that life's most powerful stories are never about perfection, they are about people who choose each other despite the chaos around them. So if this story touches your soul, if you believe in love that defies odds, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now, because every subscription helps us keep sharing stories that remind us what it means to be human, what it means to fight for love, and what it means to find light in the darkest of hours. And stay tuned, because their journey isn't just a private surgery or a millionaire's choice, it's a legacy of love that even time will not forget.